Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
We're so honored to have back on the show legendary band that you've been listening to for years and going to see live for years. We have 3 members of the band Exile. I've got Marlon, Steve, and Sonny. Guys, thanks for coming back on the show.
Thank you, Eric. It's our pleasure. It's always
It seems
fun.
like it was yesterday, because as I was preparing and I was listening to the music again and everything, but it's been like 3 or 4 years ago before the pandemic since you guys have been on.
That's right.
Yeah.
2019.
It has been. Yeah.
And you've been a little busy.
We have been extremely For a bunch of old guys, yeah, very busy.
Yeah, I mean, and I can't believe this because obviously none of us are close to this age. 60th anniversary of Exile.
Right.
Wow.
How did that happen?
Good question.
you know, I think when we started, we didn't think of being together 6 years or 6 months. You just don't think in those terms.
Right.
And we're lucky to still be doing it. It's
and
amazing.
have a new album out, A Million Miles Later.
We do. We do.
Yep.
It's just, you know, and once again, I've got to brag on you guys with so many hit songs and with the 2 books and with all of the awards and everything else that the band members have gotten individually, but also recognized, I mean, 113 times on the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah.
And so when's the membership thing coming?
You know,
Another good question.
I'm glad you brought that up.
It seems like that should be, you know, I mean, I've seen you guys on the Opry.
Yeah. Well, you would think.
Yeah,
By now,
I mean,
you would think.
but believe me, we're absolutely ready for it anytime. So hopefully it'll happen at some point.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, I know they always welcome you guys on, and just with the harmonies and with the music you bring. And September, the 45th anniversary of Kiss You All Over.
That's right.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep.
Long
That kind
time.
of sneaks up on you.
Yeah, with all the other stuff, kind of forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what, you know, and how did the new album come together? Because, I mean, I don't know, with all the touring you guys do, because I keep up with all of you, and it's like with the songwriting and everything else, how did this new album come together?
We,
Sonny.
you know, we started thinking about it ahead, you know, a couple of years ago, really, and started thinking, what can we do for the 60th? And so we started writing, and of course, when the pandemic hit, we started writing on Zoom, JP and I, and our other co-writer, Hall of Fame songwriter, Sharon Vaughn. Who was living in upstate New York. And so the 3 of us started that process really in 2020.
They were actually all in the same room, but they used
Thanks for explaining that, Steve.
So over the course of a year or so, we started the writing process.
Yeah.
And then it developed, once we had the songs together, then we had to start recording. And that took about, what, a year?
At least a
year and a half or so. I mean, you know, starting to record with touring and everything.
Sure.
And we completed it, I think the process, March or April of this year. It was kind of done when we started mixing. And it's here we are, getting ready to release it. You know, August 25th is the actual release date. And it's been a long process, but it's been a lot of fun. The writing went great. You know, the recording was a blast. You know, some of us don't remember playing on songs, but the recording was. If you want to talk about that,
yeah, Steve, go ahead and take that one. It seems like
Steve.
that was a handoff.
I surprised him with this one.
This is a payback.
This is a payback.
We had done this song. It's actually a gospel song called "Down in Cold Water." Really cool song. JP and Sonny wrote it. Did you write that?
With Sharon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then we got the Isaacs to come in and
sing.
a duet.
Oh man.
It took a while to get them in the studio. They had a lot of distractions, you know, touring with Reba and
Little things like that.
little things like that.
Yeah.
So it took a while. So we cut the tracks, and you know, of course, now JP and Sonny do a lot of producing on their own, and they, you know, they're keen on the drum tracks and drum machines, you know, computer, all the tech. So it had been a number of weeks or months, I think.
Oh, it was.
Yeah,
it was.
And they finally got the Isaacs to perform on it and get a kind of a rough mix, and then they sent it out to all of us, and I'm listening to it, and I didn't remember playing on it, and I'm hearing this great drum track.
Who is that?
So I send them an email, and I say, you know, good job, but you know, it would have been nice if somebody would have told me you were going to program drums on the song, you know, before you did it. And then Sonny writes back and says, "What are you talking about?"
You played on it. He sends us email, and we're all going, "What is he talking about?"
That pandemic was hard on everybody.
It was. It was.
The bottom line is his drum track is amazing on it.
But it's
You know,
funny
he just
too,
didn't think he played it.
Yeah, that's what's funny, Sonny, though, is to where, you know, Steve's going like, "That's an amazing drum track. Maybe we'll hire that guy for a backup."
I thought it was pretty good. Yeah.
So, you know, when I got his email, we all got the email, and I called JP first.
Yeah.
And what is he talking about? Yeah, we couldn't figure it out, but then, you know, it all came about.
And by the way, that's to me, one of our favorite tracks, because the Isaacs are singing on it.
my
And man, what a great collaboration.
Well, and also with Exile, you know, certainly with Kiss You All Over, you know, more of a rock-flavored song, but, you know, but you guys are more known for your harmonies and country music.
Yeah.
And that's what really put you on the map.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, that plus, I mean, the five of us, literally the way we play together, you know, on projects. I mean, God love the great studio players in this town. I mean, and they obviously do an amazing job.
Definitely.
And, you know, but the way we five play together is very distinctive also, as well as the vocals. It just is.
Are you saying we're better than everybody in town? Is that what you're trying
Well, that's your words, not mine.
And I think, you know, the many years we've been together, you know, we've kind of developed that sound, basically.
Right.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it is, I think Sonny's right. It is a distinctive sound that
I think
the
it
band
is,
has.
particularly, you know, and certainly with the keyboards and everything, and with JP and Les involved,
Oh,
and
yeah.
also just the way you guys interplay, and to my ear, you know, having seen you in concert a number of times, you don't step on each other. And with a five-piece, it's pretty easy to do that.
Yeah. I think over the years we've learned to trust, on stage particularly, we learned to trust the other person. We know the other person, what they're going to do. And also, if you mess up, you know they're going to step in and sort of cover for that.
Right.
Yeah, so it is a great blend, I think.
Well, you know, the last time you guys were in studio, you know, as we talked about back in 2019 with the garage sessions, now you've got all this new music going out on your 60th anniversary.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, I mean, this is when a lot of bands are going, you know, like Foreigner and all these other bands are going, yeah, maybe it's time we like slow down and take a break, and you guys are like speeding up now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, basically, we still enjoy being on stage. I mean, that's the key. I think if we didn't, we probably wouldn't continue to do it. You know,
You know, any good band should be greater than the sum of its parts. And I'm sure I'm not bragging when I say this, but we've achieved that.
Right.
And that's a big part of the glue, you know. And at our ages, we get on stage, and that is still there. You know, it's more than we're expecting when we get up there.
Well, what's it like now when you go out and play? Because obviously, you know, starting out, it was like, you know, all the young people coming out to the shows, and now you've got multi-generational. You know, you have the people that grew up with you, like me, and then you have their families and their kids, and they're all coming to the shows.
and grandkids.
Right.
I mean, you as you said, you may have 2 or 3, 4 generations sometimes.
That has to feel good.
It does, and a lot of times, you know, a young maybe a 10-year-old kid or something will come up and they've never heard, they don't know who we are, but they'll come up after the show and say, well, I really like that. That was enjoyable.
And they know your songs.
Yeah.
Because they've been in the movies. I mean, you know, they've used your songs in how many movies over the years.
Sure.
And that gives you a nod also to where it's like, wait a minute, I know that song.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, from Happy Gilmore, I mean, so many other movies over the years.
You know, as we started thinking about putting this project together, talking about the last project we did, the Garage Tapes in 2019, that was which was 30 tracks of demos, you know,
which
all
was
that
great.
stuff. Well, you know, on that project, we did a cover version. The only time we did only song on that cover of the old Tennessee Ernie Ford song, 16 Tons, which was recorded on a boombox. It was a rehearsal tape, which is included on the Garage Tapes.
Right.
Well, you know, it turned, you know, when we started playing it live, when we finally did, the reaction was amazing. So that was kind of like the anchor of starting the new project, you know, and that became, that was probably one of the first songs we actually recorded properly, was 16 Tons. And then we had to figure out, well, you know, what is going to be the title of this thing? So we wrote the title, what became the title song, A Million Miles Later. And that's the title of the project.
16 Tons is meaningful to us on another level too, because of the coal mining in Kentucky.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah, which I was raised around in Southern Illinois also. And
Oh,
so
yeah,
absolutely.
Kentucky, it's like,
Yeah.
it's just a part of life.
Sure
is.
You know,
It
so many
is.
of your family members and everything work in the coal mines.
And I do have family members literally worked in the mines.
Well, you know, I couldn't help but think of this, not to put you guys on the spot, but there have been 2 books released.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Possibly time for an update?
Well, when are you writing your book, Steve? He's got a tell-all coming. No, please,
and it could
please
be,
no.
Steve, it could be the track I never knew I played.
I never played. Yeah, there you go.
That's it.
You know, we haven't really. I don't think we've even thought about it or discussed it or with anyone. I don't know. I don't know anything's happened in the last 10 years that interested.
I think so, because I mean, just with your career, I mean, over 8 million albums sold.
Yeah.
And how many hits? And also, when you look back to "Kiss You All Over," that great hit song, 23 weeks on the charts.
Yeah, around the world too.
I mean, and international hit.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's kind of unheard of in this day.
Sure.
You know, that's one of those great songs, you know, I mean, and everyone identifies us with that song, even though we had many more country hits.
Many more.
Yeah, that's so, you know, it just won't go away, and that's,
Thank goodness.
that's fine.
You know, and as a result of that song and now the project coming up and the buzz about things, we're actually talking about touring Europe next year,
That would be incredible.
which would be incredible.
Well, you know, and I was going to bring up too, Sonny, with some of the people that you guys have been on tour with, such as Kenny Rogers.
Sure.
You know, Fleetwood Mac. So you guys have been able to, you know, tour with rock bands and with country bands, both.
Yeah.
And not a lot of bands can say that.
No,
We used to have kind of a running joke in the band. There would be new artists who would come out and open for us, you know. And in no time, they're up here and we're opening for them. And this became a trend. It was the Judds, Reba, who else did
gosh,
that?
I got to think about it.
A lot of people
Right.
did
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
we would tell young artists, if you want to make it, open shows for
Yes,
us.
How amazing, though. And I was going to bring up, you know, also with the Judds that you guys toured with.
Oh,
them.
yeah.
Oh, they literally, when they first started, you know, they opened for us for a long time, and then we toured with them and the Oaks for a year or so, something like that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But to me, it's so great to keep fresh new music coming out, just as you guys have done.
Yeah.
And also, when I was preparing to have the 3 of you on the show, I thought it'd be great to see a documentary on Exile. Just like
Speaking of
As
that,
a matter of fact.
Funny you
Tell
should
him,
say
tell
that.
him.
Yeah.
Tell him.
Yeah, there's a Kentucky Educational TV
KET.
is producing a documentary, and they've hired Tom Thurman, who's actually a Lexington resident, but he's done 39 documentaries and some big ones.
right?
Yeah.
I know the name.
Yeah, great.
he did
Great
Hunter-
director. Great director.
Hunter S. Thompson, Sam Peckinpah. Who else has he done?
Oh, my gosh, I'd have
It's
to.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's a highly talented guy and really funny, and he's going to be producing and directing.
Yeah.
So that's in process right now.
And part of the.
Are they going to follow you on the road for this
Well,
tour?
not follow us. I mean, we're going to be, you know, interviewed, of course, but we're also doing November 4th up in
Renfro Valley.
Kentucky,
Yeah.
where we're going to play. They're going to tape or film that performance as part of the documentary. So, I mean, folks that, you know, listen to this that may want to be a part of the documentary process,
Definitely.
you know, attend November 4th.
Yeah. Get some tickets. I understand.
In
By the way, I
Renfro Valley,
understand tickets are starting to become
Scarce.
scarce.
Yeah.
I could see that.
So
now, isn't the museum up there also?
It is.
Adjacent to the
It's right next
Renfro
door.
is the
Yeah.
museum.
Kentucky Music Hall of Fame.
I had no idea. I thought I was coming up with a brilliant idea on the documentary. Then I found out
it's
it's already in
happening.
motion.
It is happening.
No, it's we're actually really particularly since the Tom Thurman is directing. We're very psyched about that.
Yeah,
That's
lately
incredible.
we've been opening shows for Alabama.
Yeah.
Not all their shows, but a good number of them. And actually, Randy Orton and Teddy Gentry have agreed to be in the
Yeah,
documentary.
they're going to be part of it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of artists are going to be interviewed, you know, that we've worked with through the years.
But I mean, how incredible is that, though, to see these other artists like you guys were talking about that you've toured with, that have opened for you or you've opened for them.
Yeah.
Right.
You guys are still going strong, and that they're going to be a part of this. as a testament to the Exile legacy that's still continuing.
It's very, it's wonderful, actually.
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's pretty humbling.
sure is.
You know, it is, because I don't think we really think about, 60 years and all the stuff we've done and haven't done and shouldn't have done.
Well, we won't go there.
But it is kind of humbling, I think.
Well, I think it's incredible. Now, I've got to ask this question also. Listening to the tracks with the new album, are you guys going to put this out on vinyl also?
I think there's talk about it.
There's serious talk about it. And we would love it, because vinyl is just so, it just sounds so much better.
Well, you know what's funny, and you guys are going to laugh at me, is I'm going to have to actually go out and buy a boom box again, because I'm still getting stuff on CD and now cassette.
Yeah.
And I have to have a way to play it.
Sure, absolutely.
And I've got a record player at home in my living room, because in my mind, and certainly I know a lot of our viewers listening to, your music and everyone else's music digitally. They have you on playlist.
Yeah.
But there's still something about that vinyl and holding the album.
And the album.
Exactly. Being able to see the lyrics and the artwork, especially of Steve, with all the pictures of Steve on the album.
Right,
Yeah.
and which tracks I played on.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Well,
why,
just your picture on the album cover.
Oh,
well, that's why we chose, the Beatles' White Album. That's
Right.
why we chose a similar album cover, because, Steve's, we didn't want to put a picture on the front. So.
But the bus shots and everything, I don't know who did the photography for you guys, the new stuff, but great shots.
Yeah, they are.
It is a cool cover, actually. In spite of Steve being there, but
I do what I can.
Yeah, literally. But you guys are such incredible musicians, and I love the new album. And I think you need to work on maybe an update to the book in the next year or two after the documentary's over.
Yeah.
Okay. Just something else to work on. In your spare time, Sonny, between writing hit songs.
Oh, yeah.
You need a hobby.
Who knows?
And of course, I don't know, did we talk about the single that's just been released?
No.
It's called Rough Around the Edges.
Right.
Yes.
It's doing very well. And Sonny mentioned Europe. It's actually getting our play in some European countries.
Is.
But once again, with a song like that, Rough Around the Edges, it's like, 60 years in, and you're getting play and getting, that kind of makes you go, wow.
It is remarkable.
That is.
And surprising,
Right.
frankly.
Well, and like you brought up too, Marlon, to where the European audiences are very much into the country music, but also it's almost like a listening room over there, to where everybody sits very quietly, and it's like it's like doing the Bluebird, and that's got to be incredible, to be able to do that kind of tour. Over in Europe, just like the Bellamy brothers, they're tour in Europe all the time.
They at least twice a year, I believe.
I think they have homes there now.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Besides the Rams.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I think they play more over there than in the States. Seriously,
Right.
they do, really.
Well, that's what David Bellamy had said one time. It's like he met more of the country stars over in Europe than he did here in Nashville. Even in the States.
I don't doubt that.
Yeah. But I'm sure all those shows overseas are going to be sold out when you guys do that.
Well, hopefully.
so.
Hopefully. We haven't been in so many years. We don't know. So
it might have to be on the regular rotation again for Exile.
Absolutely.
It would be good.
Sure.
Yeah, it would be wonderful.
Just let Steve know what tracks he's playing on before you get there. Yeah, Steve, you're on this one. Okay, you're ready.
That'll be important.
Yeah, get behind the kit. Well, I want to make sure for our viewers, for everything in Exile, with the new single out, which is doing so well, and then also with the album, A Million Miles Later, with the tour, everything you got going on, also up in Renfro, Kentucky.
On November 4th.
November 4th. Where do viewers need to go for the website, social media, everything Exile?
Well, our Facebook page is Exile Band Official. We've got TikTok page, also TikTok, same Exile Band Official. Instagram is Exile Official Band.
You guys are so hip.
Hey,
I don't know any of that.
see, they don't know this. Aren't you impressed? Aren't you
It's so
impressed?
confusing.
Oh my goodness.
So you can find you can find links to buy a ticket for that.
Absolutely.
Well, and I want to make sure too for our viewers, with the album out, I want to make sure that they add it to the playlist, however you consume music with Exile, and tell your radio stations, that you're listening to add these songs on, and they're going to be coming to your town and playing. Also overseas, a documentary finally with Exile.
Neat.
It's so much great stuff. Well, Marlon, Steve, Sonny, thank you so much for coming on. Be sure and follow them on social media also, and they'll be coming to your town. The incredible Exile 60th anniversary, 45th anniversary of Kiss You All Over, and then all the other hits that we're just going to keep rolling these out like every month, right?
Hopefully.
Hope so. Hopefully. Can I mention one more thing?
Sonny.
Just one more. This past March, we did a cruise. It's called Rock and Romance Cruise. And one of the acts on there, the older acts, a British act called Climax Blues Band.
Totally.
Yeah, great band.
Well, it was kind of a mutual admiration society, them, us, you know, we loved the way they were doing, they came to see our shows. Well, they contacted us about singing on their single that they're going to release, worldwide in Europe.
Wow.
So we're going to put vocals on their single coming up.
Did I play on it?
You did not play on this one.
You didn't play on this one.
Okay.
You didn't play on this one.
Okay.
But that's, I mean, so we're going to be singing on a Climax Blues Band single.
Climax
coming
Blues,
out.
it'll be a collaboration, apparently.
Yeah, with Exile, it'll be
Exile and the
Climax
Climax Blues Band in England.
Yeah.
So that's going to be, that's kind of cool.
That's incredibly cool. And
yeah.
again, another great band, legendary band.
Absolutely.
I tell you what,
And they
they're
are
still a
smoking.
great band.
My God, they're
Yeah.
smoking, man.
Yeah, really.
Just great music.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, I love all the new music. Be sure and follow Exile. Go see them live. Get the new album, however you consume music. It's just a million miles later, and I'm so thrilled you guys are still touring and making great music.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
It's always
you.
a pleasure.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it, Eric.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.